Yeah, yeah. What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast. We're here with another episode. DT, Just Jerry. What's going on, fellas?
Salute, my guys.
What's good? What's good? Happy Friday, my young gentleman.
Happy Friday, fellas.
Yo, I gotta ask this question. You know, I can't do it without it. You know, Lance, ask DT if he's still with us.
I give you that one. That was a good one. That was your best one yet.
What's
DT, you still with us? I'm following through on this one too. DT, you still with us?
Absolutely. What's my man, the fastest man in the world from Jamaica? Will he do that? You was about to do that when he asked you that.
Unbelievable. Listen, we're bringing another episode to you guys. Today we're going to talk about Section 8. We're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a lot of things you probably don't know that you think you know, or there's a lot of things you don't know that you've never heard before. So either way, we're going to bring it straight to you. We got a lot of good information, and we've been there before. Just Jerry and I have Section 8 tenants. DT has dealt with Section 8 tenants, so a lot of good information here for both sides of the track, and we will get right into it. Just Jerry, what is Section 8?
I'm about to say, don't even
what
tell
is
me.
Section 8?
Don't ask me anything. It's pretty much like a voucher that the government gives you so you can help you pay your rent for low income tenants and stuff like that. So if you're saying so Section 8 gives you, they're gonna give you a voucher to pay somewhat of your rent. So I'm not gonna say all of it, but it's gonna definitely be majority or a little bit less than half or half of your rent. So, and it gives you an opportunity to live life and help you with your rent and get yourself situated to get a job, get a real job, get a career, go to school and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's in place there to help people. And as far as the real estate angle, if you have a Section 8 tenant, the government is giving them a voucher, and sometimes that kind of dictates the rent as well, that you can charge them, and you'll make sure you get a portion of that rent, whether it's the majority, half, maybe a little less than half, depending on their situation, and that's something that's guaranteed to you on the first of every month, right?
Well,
so
the world loves to broadcast Section 8. So right. Section 8 in the world this is the best thing that's sliced bread.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is, DT? Why is this such a green light for everybody? Was that Section 8? You get paid, right? I mean, why is this such a hot thing for real estate investors?
A lot of reasons. That's a loaded question, but I try to answer the best I can.
Well, good job, man.
Thanks, brother. So basically, I mean, in theory, the Section 8 idea is kind of sort of amazing. It's bulletproof. It's very a safe investment, if you will, on top of the investment you made. The investment that I'm referring to is the investment in the tenant, not necessarily the property. So the theory of Section 8 is that it's created for people who have, like Jerry said, low incomes, and it's a government subsidy that helps you pay your rents so that you can live in a better area but still afford it based off of your income. And then they offer you a voucher. So if your rent, for example, the rent of the property is $1,000, Section 8 determines how much of that they'll pay based off of your income, your work, school, whatever you're doing. And then you pay the remaining portion. The idea of Section 8 is that you get on Section 8 so that eventually you could buy your own house. So the government subsidies theory is that you could save money that the government's helping you pay in your monthly rent. You could save a portion of your funds monthly to acquire enough money to now be able to, at some point in time, afford your own property. That's the theory of Section 8. Not everybody does that, but that's just what the theory is.
Right.
So as an owner, you know, you vow to have a health and safe living condition property, right? You don't, nobody's ever getting into being an investor to be a slumlord. Of course not. So you're willing to say, I'm going to keep my property up to standard, if not above standard, as long as my tenant does the right thing. So as an owner, you're like, yeah, of course, I'm going to keep my property up to speed. I'm going to make sure everything's straight. And my Section 8 tenants are just going to pay me and everything's going to go smooth and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Specifically through COVID, people who were on Section 8 or who had Section 8 tenants, you know, some of them did very, very well throughout COVID. There was not a point in time where they stressed that the incomes or people stopped paying, loss of jobs, things like that, because the government continued to pay their portion at minimum, right? But there's a bad side to it.
Wait, now before we get to the bad side, right? So it's glamored up on the internet. You know, Section 8, you're gonna get paid every month. It's guaranteed, no problem. X, Y, and Z, right? So you said as long as they keep their property up, who holds the landlord accountable for keeping their property up?
The truth of the matter is that Section 8 does, so does the town or the municipality, as well as the tenant.
So 3 entities, basically.
Right.
So you have Section 8, you have the county or the city, and then you have the tenant themselves.
Yes, sir.
Right. When you say the tenant themselves, they can just boss you around? I'm confused.
I'm glad you asked that, because most people are going to hear this and be like, no, that's not true. Tenant doesn't have a say. Well, if you have experience, you understand why.
So let me prep everybody that's listening right now. Here comes the ugly part. You know, we give you the good, the bad, and ugly. An ugly part is coming, I can tell. But go ahead.
And yes, but not necessarily the ugly. This is the stuff that people don't talk about. This is
right.
This is the part of the program, or the part of, you know, the clickbaity Section 8 rentals that people don't talk about, because, you know, it doesn't behoove them to do so. Tenants can, you know, rent the property. They can stumble upon hard times, the tenants. And what that means is they can't, or they just don't pay their portion of Section 8. Use the example of my rent is $1,000. Section 8 pays $821. I'm responsible for $139 or $79. I'm sorry. I don't pay. Section 8 pays their portion, but I stop paying my $179 a month for whatever reason. Okay. I go to Section 8. I'm referring to as the tenant. I go to Section 8 and I say, hey, this property isn't up to par. I'm not paying my portion because there's violations. There's this, there's that. The furnace doesn't blow out. Heat. The front door, there's an air gap in the bottom. My kid's bedroom, the screen is missing. In the basement, there's no smoke alarm. In the first floor, there's no carbon monoxide. Section 8 says, okay, we believe you. We're going to do what's called a mid-lease inspection. And they set up an inspection to go back out to the house. And they inspect the house. And they check for all health and safety, plus whatever issues the tenants complain about. Peeling paint, all this good stuff. They create a list, Section 8 does, if any of those things that they're complaining about are valid. And then also whatever else they see that violates their code of health and safety. So now they supply that list to you, the owner. Now, this tenant isn't paying their portion for the past however many months. Now, all of a sudden, you got a list. Conveniently, you got a list that you now have to pay out of pocket to repair. And you got 30 days to do it and get it cleared. 30 days to do the work and get it cleared. Because if not, Section 8 will then stop paying rent. And
right. So now, let me ask you a question. So now, the tenant still owes, let's say, 2 months rent, 3 months rent of the 179. I don't remember the number you gave. So
yeah, it doesn't matter.
179. Do we receive that at the when everything is fixed? The 3 months.
So
or that's forgiven.
That back rent that they owe.
So the tenant is still responsible for that portion, yes. And you can go after that, and you can notify Section 8 that, hey, the tenant is delinquent on their payment for a month,
2 or 3 months.
June, July, August, or whatever.
So we could tell too.
Yeah, we can all rat.
Okay, so everybody can tell on each other here. Okay, gotcha.
So that's the reason why I asked that, is because well, I know the answer. I'm just letting you know the reason why they do that is because they give them opportunity to get their life straight or get the money for the back rent. So now we're speaking, hey, 179. Everybody's gonna say 179, I can get that. But some people are in a hardship that they cannot. But if I complain, it gives me an opportunity to get it from a friend, a family member, or find another job and say, hey, I'm gonna pay you next month.
Oh, so you're speaking as the tenant, trying to delay.
Yeah, I'm speaking as a tenant trying to do it. And that's the reason why they do it. They try to delay the process so they can catch up with anything, with family members that can give me some money, get another job, whatever, a quick scheme to get the money so we can get back into the game.
And so also, one second, Section 8 is also involved. I wouldn't say like involved, probably may not be the right word, but they monitor, let me say that, the employment status of the tenant, right? So
it's usually once a year, no?
Right. So that's why I said they monitor, but they're not like reporting daily.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? So the point of that is that if you're on Section 8, whatever your agreement is, you got to maintain employment, XYZ, Section 8 tries to keep them accountable. I would say they don't do it up to my standard, but they do it up to what's their standard. Okay. So if a tenant loses a job and that's why they can't afford that 179 payment, right? Section 8 may not be aware of that. And you as the owner, you could tell if you have pertinent information or reliable information, you could tell them, hey, tenant fell behind in rent and the reason is because they lost their job. And, that could put them in jeopardy for possibly losing because they didn't report that and they're not being honest and truthful, whatever. But let's be clear, Section 8 is tenant friendly first, as they should, right? Because it's a program for tenants and they're kind of reluctant with the owners, but they're not pushed back for the most part. So with that being said, you can, get involved with Section 8, communicate with them. Sometimes you're going to get a worker that will work with you and they'll advocate for you and they'll push the tenants to do the right thing. And then other times you'll get the worker, and the worker I'm referring to is the Section 8 caseworker for the tenant. That will be just like, they don't care. Like they'd rather sit down and eat donuts as opposed to just open up their computer and give you an answer to a question. Right. So those are things that you got to fight with. And then that same list. So let's say that list cost you, this is the part about Section 8 that can be very
real quick for you right here. Hold that thought. Don't lose that, DT. What's the biggest bill you've had to pay for, just Jerry, as far as the Section 8? When Section 8, because remember, you gotta, even if you don't have a tenant, you gotta prep your property to be Section 8 ready. You can't put somebody in Section 8 and then they come in and make sure it's good. You gotta make sure it's good first, right? So what bill have you gotten, just Jerry, where you've gotten it back and you're like, damn, okay, to get this Section 8 ready, it's gonna cost me X amount. What's that look like for you?
I know but it's a list. So the biggest thing, paint.
Price wise. No,
the total price of the entire
price.
Total price. Total price. What's the most expensive?
Section 8? Like Section 8 ready.
$7,000.
$7,000.
$7,000.
Give you a little example. So $7,000 to get a property ready. Where if you don't go section, I'll get into that. Don't worry about it. But $7,000. Go ahead, DT. So you were saying
that's the most expensive, yes.
Yeah,
but it doesn't have to. So I just want to clear it up before he says and he walks right off. 7,000 was the most expensive, but there's times that I only spend 150 just to fix it, and it's gone and everything is right. So don't always think it's going to be 7,000. Lance just set that up then walked off.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we
I did the Steph Curry.
And just walked
Just
off.
turned
So
around.
there's times that I already knew what type of Section 8 was going to ask me, and I did everything for it before I got there. And they found a fucking carbon monoxide. Yeah. So if you know what you're doing, then you put yourself in a position, and it doesn't cost you that much.
Yeah.
The first time I walked into Section 8, it cost me $7,000.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead, DT.
Which that's an amazing segue. So if you know what you're doing, you obviously know how to prepare a property to be what's called quote unquote Section 8 ready, right? Now, with that being said, there's still expenses that come with that, right? Because how and when do you prepare a property? Typically when either you just buy it right now or
someone moves out,
a tenant leaves and now you have to get it re-rented. So assuming that the tenant that left was not a Section 8 tenant, or even if they were, right, there's expenses that have to be taken care of that you're going to incur in that time frame. So you just have to know, up front what that takes, right? What does Section 8 require? What does a list look like? Railings, alarm, blah, 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 what all that stuff. So
that's also the dope part about H.G.R.G is that we understand that.
Right.
And we go in there, and that's what you want to do when you work with us. We'll make sure that the property is ready for that.
Right.
That's a promise. We know what they, like you were just saying, railings and whatnot, what's needed, to make sure that when they come in there and they inspect it, that you're not going to get hit for it already. So that's also another great thing with H.G.R.G. Go ahead, DT. Sorry for keeping interrupting.
That's a good point. And with that being said too, like obviously you guys are just saying a bunch of good stuff. So I want to make sure we cross out all T's and dot I's too. Yeah. And that being said, we wear different lenses when we view properties, right? We wear the rent ready City of Rochester violation list C of O lens. When you purchase this property, this is what it's going to take to get a C of O, which is the lenses of a City of Rochester inspector. That's one lens. Another lens is a Section 8 lens. If you purchase this property, this is what it's going to take to get it to Section 8 ready. That's a separate lens.
See, so you went into it. I didn't want to touch on it yet. There's a difference from having your property rent ready and Section 8 rent ready. There's a few things you can get away with having a few things.
Also C of O.
And C of O, yeah. So C of O you need period.
Those are three different things.
Right. But a C of O you'll need period.
Yeah, you'll need it, but the property may come with it already.
That's
the
true
property
too.
May come with a C of O.
Very true. Yeah.
When you acquire it, it also requires you to get it rent ready. So the C of O is not a part of this, right? It's a lot of different lenses, and we don't want to. I don't want to spin this into all over the place conversation, and we're not trying to do that. But I'm just trying to create but I don't want to cut you off either, Lance. But I'm trying to create the understanding that there's different lenses that are needed to see through when you're looking at different types of what's my quality of this renovation, what quality property am I buying, and what is it going to take to get there? Yeah. Well, the answer to that is what's your target? Who are your target renters? Are they Section 8? Are they cash or other types of government subsidies? College students, short-term rentals, professionals, business, whatever, hospitals, doctors, lawyers, whatever. So you just have to understand that. But part of that is the Section 8 thing. And that's why we're tapping into this conversation in this particular podcast, this show, this episode. So we don't want to sidetrack, but it's very important that you understand the different lenses, and whoever you speak to as far as management is concerned or the property, when you're walking through it, you should make sure that person, H.G.R.G does, by the way, like Lance said, has the lens to understand what a Section 8 property looks like or has to look like. If they don't, it could put you in a hole, because what you think could be a $5,000 to $10,000, lipstick on a pig can turn into a $20,000 Section 8 pig, and there's easily, I could just say, like a roof. A roof is, that could be a $15,000, $20,000 fix by itself. Yep. And if Section 8 says that roof needs to be replaced and your targeted market is Section 8, then I guess you're replacing the roof, right?
Or you ain't Section 8 no more. So it's going to be one or the other.
Yeah, it's just that simple. There is no in between.
That's another thing with buying right. You know what I'm saying? You're buying for Section 8 and stuff. There's a process in this. That's why you see a lot of people, anyone that you hear, real estate don't work or whatnot, it's stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They went in, they bought a property thought they were going to do something with it, didn't know what exactly to look for, and when it's time to do what they want with that property, they can't, and that's going to cost them an arm and a leg because they didn't have those lenses to look through. They didn't understand what they were looking for, right? So now they're in a bind. They want to do something that somebody gave them this dream that they're going to guarantee Section 8, and that's how you do it, and that's how you come in the game. But now Section 8's like, no roof. 15,000. Oh, you ain't got that. Okay, so you find a cash renter.
Exactly.
That's what you find it because Section 8 ain't working with you.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Absolutely.
and that's just what it is. Like there is no sugarcoating it, and you won't. Typically, you don't hear that regularly, like because Section 8 people speak about. Let me just say the people that I hear online and in conversation to speak about Section 8 rentals. They make it seem like so simple. Oh, you buy it?
Absolutely.
Get a Section 8 ready, and that's going to make you this much money a month, and it's just that simple. Government's going to pay you this, and it's just going to work. Like it's just going to be.
Which that's the thing is they're not wrong. That's why they can say it.
Yeah, but you got to get it like that, though.
Yeah, but the conversation they never tell you the step by step you're about to get into to make it Section 8 ready. Well, they say, hey, let's get a Section 8. You got a tenant, you good.
That's why I beg to differ because they are wrong.
No, they're right. He's saying that they just skipping to the ending.
Correct.
They're not skipping to.
It's get the Section 8 tenant, and you're good. Wait a minute. That doesn't go like that.
You are.
Yeah.
Correct.
You are.
They're not lying.
You got to get there.
Yeah. Correct. They're not lying. It's
like
just
a commercial. You could buy this car for $239 a month.
Correct.
Yeah, but your credit score got to be right, baby. You know what I'm saying? The down payment you got to have, baby.
$10 fine taxes, all I'll do.
Correct.
At the end of
and that's what gets everybody, because we have students that they automatically walk in saying, I want Section 8 tenants, man. So after I do everything we do, I want Section 8 tenants, and then we gotta understand, we gotta teach them like, look, hold on. I know all incidents telling you Section 8 is the goal. Yeah. And it is, but they're in high demand. Just want to let you know. Section 8 tenants are high demand.
You're going to have to pay for it, man. Unless you're buying a property that is mint. But my thing is, if you're buying a property that is mint, and I'm being honest here, right? If you're buying a property that is a beautiful property from head to toe, then chances are Section 8 probably isn't what you're looking for, to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? If
that's a great point.
You know what I'm saying?
He talks about that. Let's why?
Because the neighborhood that you're in, you're going to have someone that can afford that rent and probably doesn't need government subsidies. You see what I'm saying?
Is what you're saying just a type of
discrimination?
Demographic? No, demographic. It's not discrimination.
No, that's definitely
100%.
100%.
100%. You hear it all the time. Like I hear in conversations, nobody will ever tell you that they say it, right? I don't want no Section 8 tenants in my properties.
Facts. I've heard it.
Don't say demographic then.
Yeah, all the time.
Don't say demographic then.
But the demographic that you're looking for is not a Section 8 demographic.
No. Matter of fact, let me tell you a crazy story.
Story time with DT.
So one of my first hard money lenders that I ever dealt with, one of the dopest people I ever met in my life. As a matter of fact, he built the house that I live in right now. He sued the town that he lives in because he owns a helicopter, and he built a house with a garage that he could park his helicopter in this town.
So landing a helicopter pad.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? So after he built the house, he flew his helicopter to the house. They made a law in that town that he can no longer fly that helicopter into that house. They made it illegal for him to fly his helicopter into the house after he built the house just for that.
That's crazy.
Right? So he sued the town. He won. He won the lawsuit, but they didn't change the law.
Yeah.
So now he owns all this land. It's prime location. It's waterfront, prime location. Like this, the land is like one of the best pieces of property locally, right?
Right.
He could do whatever he wants with it. He could build multi-million-dollar homes on it. He can develop it however he wants. And that's his forte. His forte is building custom homes. That's what he does. He appealed the lawsuit like 4 or 5 times, and it's going back and forth. It's like at the Supreme Court level now. And I had a conversation with him. And the last time I had a conversation with him, he said, yeah, I'm in Supreme Court now. If I don't win this lawsuit, I'm just going to build a bunch of subsidized Section 8 housing right now. So that he could decrease the value of the township,
of everything around him.
And
that's crazy.
Him spitting back in it's the face of the town because of what he did to him. Yeah.
Yeah, listen. That's one of the craziest stories that you said on this podcast. That's crazy.
And he could do it. It's his land. It's zoned for whatever he wants it to. Like, and he's got probably 90 acres.
You tell me they can't try to rezone that or tell them that doesn't qualify.
I'm sure they can do whatever they want. I'm sure they can do whatever they want. They could try to do whatever they want, but I mean, his money is so they got to fight. They're not going whatever they do. They better come correct,
right? Because
he got deep pockets. He going, and he does it just for the principle.
Yeah, now is the principle. You paid me. I'm not now. But
so
that is definitely not.
Right. So not to get off subject.
Demographic. I'm telling you that right now.
So not to get off subject.
It is discriminatory, and it's
discriminatory. It is discrimination, bro. It's discrimination.
You know, call it what you want, but that's how it is.
But you can't stop it.
Stop it.
You can't stop it.
And there's
because you don't have to have Section 8.
Right. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, you.
Low income.
It is a law here that if you're renting an apartment, right? It doesn't matter where it is. You have it on the market.
Yep.
Let's say 3 people apply, and they all are actually the same income, backgrounds, everything comes back the same. Credit scores, all that. One is cash, one is Section 8, the other one is Social Security, retirement, death voucher, whatever that looks like.
Right.
You cannot pick one of the 3 because they are not on Section 8. You cannot deny somebody
regulating that
the apartments or the house.
Come on, we going down this road?
That's a law. That is
all right. We going down this road?
Yeah.
Are we going down this road? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
There's no one there to dictate that I picked this person because they're not on Section 8.
Yeah,
you didn't pick this person because they are on Section 8.
You got to make sure you do it in a way where it doesn't look like it's discriminatory. That's all.
Okay. I mean, give me something better than that. I mean, of course, they've been getting around that forever.
Yeah, that's a fact. Let's be real. So there's laws in place for you can't discriminate, but it's happening still.
My point here is that if you're buying a property that is in a if you guys know our scale, right, a 9-10 neighborhood, right, the chances are you're putting a cash tenant in there. And you're going to have faith in that as well because of your location and where you're at. So if you want to go Section 8, the chances are you're buying in fringe neighborhoods, maybe 6s, 5, 6s or whatnot. That's where you're getting your properties at. And those properties, 9 out of 10 times, you need a little bit of work when it comes to Section 8. So you got to understand that going into it. That you're not going to just buy a property and then you walk a Section 8 tenant in there and everything is gravy. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to spend some cash. That's the mindset you got to have. And that's the other side of it.
And to add to that, the Section 8 tenant has the choice to pick yours or not. So we got to understand that.
That's the other side of it as well. Absolutely.
The tenant, if DT's property is in a fringe neighborhood, but it's a 9 and 10 inside, the Section 8 is not going to Jerry's property anymore.
That's a great point. That's a great point because you may be Section 8 approved, right? But the house is like just Section 8 approved.
Right.
It's just Section 8 approved. That don't mean that the Section 8 tenant is obligated to live there.
Right.
They have choices too.
Absolutely.
So your property is one of many properties that they can choose from or that they're qualified for.
Absolutely.
right? So you can play if you want and act like you ain't gonna put no money into it.
And let's talk about the good, right? Let's talk about the good, the other good parts of Section 8. I mean, we've touched on a few, right? That's not all bad. It's not all ugly.
Right, of course.
Typically, Section 8, you get higher rents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, DT.
So
that's the reason why people want Section 8. It sounds great. You get higher rents and you get paid every month.
The majority of your rent is paid first to the third of the month every month. No failure.
Correct.
Right. You charge higher rents. You know, with Section 8, it's like almost like it's like a negotiating tool, like not tool, but it's a negotiating process when you're charging rent for this particular unit, right? So if you're renting out this unit for a 3-bedroom, 1.5, let's say 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom property, and what we're gonna call like a 5-6 area on the letter system, it'd probably be like a C area, give or take, right? B, borderline C area. You know, you're charging $1,500 a month in rent. Section 8 they can tell you they have a voucher for $1,800. Well, you say, okay, I'm charging $1,800 for rent. Or you can say I'm charging $1,850. Tenant takes that to Section 8. Section 8 says, okay. Or they say, no, we're only going to pay $1,811 or $1,779. Section 8 has the weirdest numbers. I don't know how they get their numbers. Their numbers are never normal.
Some of a solid even number.
Yeah, they're always weird. We're going to be $1,731.23 for that property.
Right.
Okay. All right. Whatever. So, you know, but you do get higher rents.
Right. But you gotta remember, just so you remember, I want to put it in perspective. You would just charge them 15. Realize you can get Section 8, you can push it 17, 1,800.
And I kind of misspoke there because I don't want to say it and people like kill me on this. You can't charge 1,500 and then Lance submits an application, and because he's Section 8, I'm charging you 18. You can't do that. And the way I said it, I know it sounds.
If the neighborhood calls for 1,500,
yeah,
right, and you're gonna get Section 8, you can probably push that envelope a little
The
more.
way to do it would be this way. If you're gonna do Section 8, you're confident in that, right? You charge the highest amount that you think is even not really possible, and you get the Section 8 tenants to apply. And then they take the rent amount to Section 8. And then Section 8 tells you, we're not paying $1,800, bro. Are you serious? Well, we'll give you $1,779.34.
Right.
I think I
can swing that. I can swing that.
Wow. Oh, fine.
You know, it's real tough. I had another guy over here who was willing to pay $1,300. But yeah, that's $74.39. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you guys a question.
By the way.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
We gotta start backing this up, man.
Yeah. Do they stay longer?
Typically, yes. For sure. And specifically,
that's a pro. That's a pro for that. Go ahead.
I would say specifically, and you guys may have a little bit of feedback, but I would say specifically for single family properties.
3 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, for sure.
Single family is at Section 8. They don't have to deal with nobody. They're staying there they're all their lives.
And even
until they can.
Right. And even if they're Section 8 and they move into a multi-family property, which that happens as well, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, so we're not naive to things. You know, there's complexes, 100-unit complexes, 200-unit complexes, that the whole complex is Section 8.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to make it seem like nobody's living in multi-families or complexes with Section 8. That's
right.
Not,
you're just saying staying longer. You know what I'm saying? That
you have like a 2, 3, 4 unit property, whatever, you know, on a Section 8 tenant. Yeah, they'll stay there because maybe that was what they had then at that time. But as time goes on, they're going to want their own space, right? They're going to want to evolve into a better situation, maybe even a better school district. And as we know, in the suburbs, you don't see 2, 3, 4 units as common as you do like in the city or the rural areas.
Correct.
You know, just keep that in mind when it comes to the Section 8, because a lot of people are intrigued by that multifamily thing, right? And they're like, I'm going to multifamily it out. I'm going to get a 4-unit, 3-unit. I'm going to Section 8 the whole building out. I hear you. You know, turnover's a thing. You know, it's not the same tenancy, as if you will, as if it's a single family property. That's just, you know, based off of my experience or whatnot. And that's not a bad thing. You know, it's not a bad thing.
That's correct.
Right. It's just apartment.
But if you get 3 bedrooms, you got a multifamily, and they have 3 bedrooms,
Yeah.
1 bath minimum, right? If you can get that, you can get tenants to stay there longer.
Yeah.
Because you got a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. All it takes is somebody to pop out a kid, you know what I'm saying, out of there.
Yep. Or get a boyfriend, girlfriend with a kid.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, they out of there.
You know,
That's
their
right.
kid has a kid. It's just, you know, obviously the long-term stay is not there. The older couples, they may stay there longer because, you know, their family's grown and gone and they're, you know, older. They're going to stay somewhere longer. That's a thing, you know, but typically a dope gem is if you're doing Section 8 properties, I would say a gem would be on single family properties. And you have the pockets and the wherewithal as you're buying to make sure that that property is or can be Section 8 ready within your means. I'm not opposed to that at all. At all. That's a way to maximize your rents. It's a way to guarantee income. But the purpose of H.G.R.G schooling y'all, giving y'all this free game, and hopefully you guys are liking, you're subscribing, you're commenting, even if it's a thumbs up, it's a fire emoji. If it's a salute, preach, you know, speak more, or if it's a rebuttal, hey, what you said here, you know, I refute that or whatever. You know, we're open for all that. But
we'll also take the good, bad, and the ugly with the comments. That's fine.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment to HGRG_club. We do this, you know, for you guys for free. But free game would be, you know, if you can get more money on that single family, 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1.5, 4 bedroom, whatever that looks like. You know, that's not a bad way to go. Not a bad way to, and even if you're investing in fringe neighborhoods, you don't have to buy, you know, 8, 9, 10 properties on our scale. You don't have to buy A and B properties and C properties to be able to like capitalize on that Section 8 rentals. You could buy in fringe neighborhoods. You could buy in C and D and E neighborhoods. You could buy in 2s and 3s and 4 neighborhoods and get that property Section 8 ready. You know, they don't have to feel like you could buy in a fringe neighborhood and make that property feel like they're in a suburb and not break the bank and charge Section 8. And that's a good niche.
Guys, we tell you how to do this. Go back and look at our Fringe Neighborhood podcast, our episode.
Absolutely.
We show you how to do this.
Yeah.
We talk about this in depth, right? Yeah. I'm telling you guys, we give you so many jewels here. It's not even funny. We talk about Section 8. Half the stuff that we talk about Section 8, you don't hear out there.
Right.
I don't care what nobody says.
Bro,
you don't hear half the stuff we talking about.
We're in the mix and we know you don't hear it. We're in the mix and we know.
Word. Dude, nobody tell you, hey, Section 8, buy smart. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's gonna be a list. The tenant could get you, right? The city can get you. You know, the Section 8 itself could get you. They can do a mid
mid-lease inspection.
Mid-lease inspection. A mid-lease inspection. I mean, have you heard of a mid-lease inspection? You can put one down in the chat, you know what I'm saying, or the comments if you've heard of a mid-lease inspection with Section 8. Right. I'm almost guaranteed 99% you have not, if you're not in the real estate game, if you're not in the Section 8 game.
You know,
nobody talks about that. It's not sexy.
That's fire. That's all real shit. So, you know, we can go down the quick list of things too that people may or may not know. And obviously, if there's something that we go over, you need a little bit more clarification on. You know, obviously, you could put it in the chat. You know, we're on Instagram every Thursday, every Sunday. You can pop on our Instagram, HGRG_club.
Yeah, we go live for sure.
On our lives on Instagram. Obviously, if you want to comment, we'll if you have something that's valid enough, we'll do an episode on that. Just that alone. You know, even if it's not Section 8, please, if you guys have something you want to know about real estate that we haven't covered yet, that, you know, you've been tapping in. First of all, we appreciate that. Second of all, you know, give us something to talk about.
It's not a lot because we got about 75 episodes and shit
and counting. So, but on the Section 8 level, you know, what Lance just covered, you know, the mid-lease inspection is a thing. You have to have a vendor number to be able to accept a Section 8 tenant.
Say that one more time.
A vendor number.
Well, what is that?
You have to. We gonna give it all away right now? No, of course.
All right.
You have to be registered. You know, to be able to accept a Section 8 tenant, registered like in Section 8, and they give you what's called a vendor number. So when they pay you through that vendor number. If you don't have a vendor number, you can't get paid. So, what's that? Oh my God, I never heard of that. I can't just
never heard of that on IG or any shorts.
register with it. No, you can't. There's a process. So you got to have a vendor number. Again, the property has to be up to par. You got to have, excuse me. If the caseworker reaches out to you, and when you get a tenant that's Section 8 ready, there's a process in that as well. You got to speak to the caseworker. Caseworker has to verify the voucher. You have to verify the voucher through the caseworker, because a person could apply for your apartment and say, I have a $2,000 voucher, and you're like, okay, no problem. Then you send over the lease or the whatever you have for them to say, okay, this apartment is available to them if they have the voucher of this. They can go back and do whatever they want, that paperwork. But no, you should speak to their caseworker. You got to get their caseworker number, their number. You got to verify that through Section 8. You don't want to just take somebody's word for it. I could tell you whatever I want. I got a voucher for whatever, but you should verify that with their caseworker, because I'm going to leave you with this. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, super gem, super duper gem. There are people who have Section 8 that their cases get closed.
1,000%, sir.
Right? So if you have a person who either lives in your apartment or applies for your apartment and their case is open, let's say it's what is it, September 19th. Let's say their paperwork says September 12th. They looked at your apartment on the 19th. You want to rent it for them for October 1st. Their case could have been closed on September 13th.
Yep.
So if their case isn't open because you didn't verify that they still had that open voucher for the amount that they told you they had on October 1st, they could pay you a cash deposit, or they could pay you for the security and all that out of pocket. They move in. You never verified it.
Now you stuck.
November comes. You asking for rent. You reach out to Section 8. Hey, what happened with this? Oh, I'm sorry. Daniel lost his Section 8 in September.
Yep.
Now you got to go through the eviction. And that could be 3, 5, 6 months, depending on your market.
And
I'm
telling you right now,
and 99% of the time, they got kids. And that's going to be a longer process.
I'm just, listen, I'm not going to start rubbing stuff in people's faces and whatnot, because you watching the podcast. I appreciate that. But, right? That is stuff that you don't hear about.
You look like a YouTube.
You ain't know that.
Watch.
You ain't know that. You ain't know that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So now you're learning stuff. These are real gems, guys. These are real gems. Listen.
I guess wrap it up with some pros. And
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
This is Jerry.
No, I'm saying wrap it up with some pros. We got pros. We got
that's what I'm saying.
Pros
give them a good side. I mean, yes. I know we're not, first and foremost. Let me be very clear. Let me clear the air here.
Let me clear the air right now.
Well, let me clear the air right now, guys. We're not bashing Section 8. We're not saying it's the greatest thing. We're not saying it's the worst thing. We're just giving you truths within Section 8 that you guys don't hear about. It's very easy for us to come on here and go, you can make $1 million, go buy 20 properties, make them, Section 8 ready, make all your money, you're good to go. Sign up with H.G.R.G, make your life happen. You know what I'm saying? We'll make it happen for you. We want to give you the intricacies of things like that, stuff that's not really talked about like that. Things that can really happen, real situations. So that's what separates us from everybody. You want to ask what separates us from everybody else? This episode right here, an episode like this, where you're getting information. I know you've never heard of half those things.
Mm-hmm.
For a fact. I know, because I'm an internet YouTube learn it all junkie. And I'm trying to tell you, I didn't know that stuff until I was in the game. Nobody was telling me that. I'm like, oh, Section 8, I can. You know what I'm saying? I've heard of raising rent before. I know that. You can maximize rents. I definitely heard that part. Section that pays you from you'll get your money from the 1st through the 3rd. Definitely heard of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you use this against me? Oh, wait a second. Hold on. What you mean? Well, wait. Hold on. The tenant I got in there that gets everything paid for can use it against me? Yeah, because Section 8 pays a majority, most times, of the rent, not all of it. And life happens. What happens when you get into a bind? they're gonna use this. They could use the system to help wait till they catch up. It's Christmas time. I ain't paying for that. Matter of fact, this broke. That's broken. Giving myself some more time. Section 8. You know what I'm saying? I need you to come and check it. Don't say it can't happen, because it happens. I mean, it's the unfortunate side of it, but we want to give you everything. But we also want to end it on a positive note, because Section 8 can be really good for you. 100%. Right? Section 8, if you work it right and you have the right team around you, and we touched on this before, and I'll start off like this. If you have the right management around you and the right contractors around you, they know about Section 8, and they know what the expectations of Section 8 is. Save you. It may not save you money up front, because you may have to pay for it up front to get it right, but it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of headaches on the back end, and it's going to feel like that flow of money that you're talking about. Every month I get my money, ain't got nothing to worry about. It's because you worried about it on the front end, and you have the team that worried about it and knew what to look for. So now it feels like that passive income that you always hear. So yes, what just Jerry was saying, they ain't wrong. They ain't wrong. But there's steps to get there. And there's people and a strong team you need to help you get there as well. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I gotta stay positive about Section 8. Just Jerry, I pass the torch to you.
You can't pass the torch to me after you just said everything we wanted to say. Stop that. Yeah, I'm not saying. Thank you for coming in.
Just one episode that I would say, Lance, I'm proud of you, brother. You did that, best friend. You did that, best friend.
I did that, best friend. I did that.
One thing you did fix that. Let me explain this. You really did a terrible job at giving them the answer to who that team is and who can offer them that service, and which would be tried and true and bulletproof for them to not only know the information, but guide them through that and get, because people are like, okay, I heard you. That's a lot of information to take in, but are you guys equipped? Who do you use?
We use H.G.R.G.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that I was
club. Come through, holla.
Added there is drop that humble brag, that humble bold, that you not only know the information, but you actually have the team.
That's a fact.
And it's yours, and it's called H.G.R.G. And it could be yours today. It could be anybody's who's listening to this episode. So I mean, with that said, you said everything you needed to say, everything we needed to say. You couldn't have said it better, brother. I'm proud of you, best friend. That was a good job.
I broke my elbow now. Let me get up out of here. I'm getting old. Let me get up out of here. Appreciate you guys. Listen, from our mouths to your ears, we're always gonna give you, the good, the bad, and ugly, and the truth. The transparency. And we definitely see you on the next one. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Salute.
What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime.